Okay, so in this video, I'm going to talk about how you can write the long task binge watching and what are some of the points that you need to pay attention to when you are doing the research. So I would suggest you to watch this before you actually put your words down into the file because there are some things you need to pay attention to if you want to get a higher mark. So first of all, you need to know what argumentative essay is and what is two-sided argumentative essay. So this is a genre of writing that requires you to investigate a topic. You need to collect or generate and evaluate the evidence, and you need to establish a position on the topic in a concise manner. What does it mean by position? That means you need to have a stance, okay? Whether you support binge watching or you're against this topic. Okay, so you need to select a stance. And then usually it involves lengthy and detailed research. So some of you have already given me the pre-writing task, and I can see that there is little research done. So you need to find out more about this topic with some statistics or numbers provided by scholarly journals or science journals, scientists' reports, or reports made by professional people, or even some interviews with scientists, professionals, or specialists. Okay, you need to do more research on this topic in order to get higher marks. So what is argumentative essay? Okay, an argumentative essay is a type of essay that give you arguments on both sides of the issues. So for example, our topic is binge watching, right? So you have two sides. One side is that binge watching is not harmful, and the other side is that binge watching is harmful. Okay, so there are two sides. And then for your two-sided argumentative essay in your writing, you need to state both sides of the essay. So for example, my stance, I support binge watching. I think binge watching is a good idea. It's a good activity for leisure. Okay, so binge watching it's good, and then I will give 3 paragraphs supporting this point. Okay, supporting my point that binge watching is good. And then for two-sided argumentative essay, you need to include 1 more paragraph on why binge watching is not good. Okay, the opponent's idea. So 1 paragraph on that, and you need to have a rebuttal. That means why you say that the other point it's not good, it's not valid, and you need to counter argue that. Okay, so basically for the body paragraphs you need to have 4 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs on your supporting points, and then 1 paragraph on the opponent's point and your counter argument. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the content and organization in detail. And let's start with the introduction or the introductory paragraph. So in your beginning, you should start with an enticing hook. What does it mean by enticing? That means you need to have an appealing hook. You need to hook your audience. You need to attract the attention of your readers. Okay. So in the beginning, you can state some interesting facts or some astonishing statistic, like maybe more than 1 million people die because of binge watching. But of course, you need to find out the evidence. Okay, you're not just making up the numbers. Okay, or you can start with a quote by some famous people talking about binge watching, talking about the benefits or the disadvantages of watching TV for a long time. Or you can state a personal anecdote. What does it mean? Your personal experience. Okay, something happened to you maybe in the past. Or you can start with a thought-provoking questions. Okay, for a question, just like in speech, you can ask 3 questions. That also has a great effect. Okay, so this draws the attention of your audience or the readers to continue to read your essay. And then and also in your introduction, you can provide some background or context. Okay, what is the situation? How bad was the situation? What is binge watching actually? Okay, what is the definition of it? So I would suggest you in the introduction give a definition of binge watching, because I know many of you do not know what binge watching is until you look up the dictionary, right? Okay, so binge watching refers to watching TV for a long time, but this is a simpler version. Okay, so try to find out a more professional definition of this term when you are doing the pre-writing. And then why should people care about this topic? Okay, why are you saying this? What is it so important to me? Okay, I don't think it's related to me. So you need to make it relevant to the readers or to the audience. Okay? And then you need to state your stance as well. So like I said, this is an argumentative essay. So you have to give your stance in the beginning. Okay, don't wait until the end. It's not like Chinese writing. Okay, you give all your arguments and then in the last paragraph you state your stance. But this is not what English people do. Okay, not people people who speak English would do. They just state their stance in the beginning. Okay. Okay, so for the body, it usually consists of 3 or more paragraphs. Okay, so one paragraph is focusing on one argument. Okay, so for example, if you have 3 arguments, if you have done what I suggest you to do in your pre-writing task, that should be 3 paragraphs. Okay, so 3 paragraphs focusing each on one specific argument, and then you need to present evidence to support your stance. Okay, so in that paragraph, you should have some statistics, you should have some personal experience, some news articles, some reports, or some interviews or some quotes by famous people or famous scientists or famous professionals. Okay, you should explain to your audience why they should agree with you. You need to convince them, to persuade them into thinking the same thing as you do. Okay, you need to make your argument stronger. Okay, how can you do it? You can just like the words in blue color. So you need to present your arguments with logic. Okay, it has to be logical. It has to make sense. And you need to give some examples. You need to give some statistics. You need to quote from authorities or anecdotes. Anecdotes means personal experience, past experience, something that happens in the past. Okay, past events. Now, for the language, how can you make your reasons seem plausible? You can connect them back to your position by using if or then reasoning. Okay, so if you binge watching, then something would happen. Or you can say if you don't binge watching, then something would happen. You try to use the conditional. Okay, for the language, you can put down conditionals and go to do some revision on that. There are 4 types. Okay, type 0, type 1, type 2, type 3. Okay, for type 0, it's something that must happen 100%. But for type 1, something possible 80%. For type 2, okay, it's not something that will happen. It's just something that you imagine. So it's 50% or less than that. And then for type 3, it's usually regrets. Okay, something that you regret. So go to do revision on conditionals and try to use it in your writing. Okay, for rebuttal, that means you need to counter argue. Actually, for one-sided argumentative essay, you don't have to state this one, but you are more advanced now, so you need to have one more paragraph on rebuttal. Okay, so you need to state the opponent's point of view. Okay, so for example, your stance is that why binge watching is good. You think it's good. You need to state the opposing point. So binge watching is not good. Okay, for example, the opposing argument would be binge watching it's harmful to your health, and you need to counter argue that. Okay, so your counter argument might be that it's up to one's decision. Okay, watching TV doesn't necessarily bring harm. It's just that they sit there still. They can actually move at the same time when they're binge watching. Okay, so this is the counter argument. So you need to think about what objections will your readers have. Okay, because they have read 3 paragraphs on your side already. They might have some ideas on what could the opposing team be saying. Okay, so you need to imagine what objections your readers might have or your opponent's party might have, and then you need to tell them what your reasons are for rejecting these positions. Okay, for example, this does not make sense. Okay, I don't think your idea is valid. Okay, you do not have a strong supporting points or evidence to support your view, and I do not agree with it. You can tell me the reason why you refuse to accept the opposing ideas. Okay, for the conclusion, the last paragraph of your essay, it's very similar with the introduction. Okay, it just summarizes all the arguments that you have. Okay, like in paragraph, it introduces all the arguments that you have, and then for the last paragraph, you just summarize all your points, and then try not to present new facts or arguments. I don't know why some of you, the younger you, may try to add one more point in the last paragraph to make your writing sound more convincing, but actually we don't do it. Okay, in the last paragraph, you just summarizes all the points. Okay, so just write down the topic sentence or the keywords that you have in your previous writings, and you need to convince the reader why your argument, why your stance is the best, why they should be aligned with you. Okay, so there are 4 purposes in the conclusion. The first one is to give implications. Okay, how will your readers be affected by your points? Okay, if they quit binge watching as you suggested, what are the benefits that they have? Okay, what are the good points that they will have? And then you can present hypotheticals on the ifs. Okay, so show them what will happen if the reader adopts your ideas. If let's say your stance is to quit binge watching, then what are the good points? What are the benefits? What are the real life examples of your ideas will work? Why? Why does it work? Okay. Maybe you need to include a call to action. So if you have received my comments on your pre-writing task, then some of you may say may read that I wrote you need to encourage your readers to quit binge watching, right? I think I wrote something like this. So you need to have a call to action, okay? For example, to quit binge watching as a bad habit, to quit this habit. Why? Okay. And then if you have the idea of to keep doing this, why? It's a good activity for killing time. Okay, you just stay at home, having nothing to do, and enjoy yourself, enjoy the soap operas. There is nothing harmful to others, right? Okay, why can't I do that? Then the last one, appeal to the reader's emotions, morals, character, or logic. Actually, you don't have to do this in the last paragraph. In your whole writing, you are constantly doing this. Okay, so in the last paragraph, just repeat once again, okay, to make this appeal even stronger. Okay, don't just suddenly drop this one in the last paragraph. You should be doing this the whole time, okay, during the process of your writing. Okay, for language, I will focus only on the tone, okay, because I want you to figure out what kind of grammar you need to focus on. Like I said, conditional is one, okay, you may think about using conditional. And then for the tone of your essay, an argumentative or persuasive essay, should be objective, logical, and have reasons, okay, but it often attempts to engage the hearts, okay, which means at the same time you need to have an effect on the reader's heart, okay, and not just the minds, but you have the hearts, 动机 techno, okay, so you need to have the emotional appeals. So overall, your tone should be serious, and formal. Okay, why I say you should be serious and formal? Because you have a lot of research on providing that scientific figures, right? Like the statistics. Of course, it's formal, and of course, it's serious. So don't try to write in a humorous tone. Okay, that's not it doesn't fit with the overall purpose of what we are doing. And for optimistic and pessimistic, you can it's up to you, okay, you can decide whether you want to be more pessimistic, like binge watching is really bad, we need to quit this now, okay, or you can say optimistic, I think everyone can do this, so let's just try to quit this habit. Okay, it depends on your stance, okay, so overall it should be serious, formal, and then objective. And because some of you have already given me the pre-writing task, I'm just going to take some examples from your pre-writing task and talk about what you can improve on or what are the good points. So this one is from Ruby, and her argument one is unhealthy. And as you can see, she quoted that some experts aren't so sure binge watching is healthy habit for your brain and body. Okay, so she quoted that some experts, but for me, my comments would be who are those experts? Okay, you need to specify who are they, and then when did they say this thing? Okay, so you need to have more information on that. And then the last sentence, it's good because you can see she provided the figures. Like 28% of the body immune cells become less active. So that is a strong argument and strong evidence provided. And here is the second example, and the argument would be it brings physical illnesses. Okay, so she says most of the people will eat some unhealthy snacks which has high calories when they watch the show, such as potato chips, french fries. Okay, so good example, good argument, but it's better, even better, for you to provide some statistics. Okay, so how many percent of people will suffer from obesity? Where is the link? Okay, so you have to link obesity to binge watching. Okay, so you have to give more reason. Okay, it's not strong enough because everyone can say this. It's not healthy. It's not good because you eat the potato chips. But then why? Why is it really that bad? Okay, you need to give more information on that. Okay, so for the last example would be something related to your eye health. Okay, remember to rephrase it. Okay, start the topic sentence with the health of eyesight. Make the words grander, bigger, broader. Okay, so you can't just say it hurts your eyes. This is not a good topic sentence when you're doing your writing. Okay, so try to avoid this. And then the evidence again. Okay, it talks about short-sightedness and flashing eyes. They are good examples, but you need to give more medical terms. Okay, for this one, like physical health, I would suggest you to give some deep, profound medical terms to make your writing sound more professional. Okay, try to do more research on that. I expect a lot from you guys because you have your computer with you and you have a lot of time to do the research. So don't just to give me some common sense, okay, some common knowledge. I want you to do some more research on this topic. Give me the statistics. Give me the evidence. Okay, about submitting your homework, you can go on to Schoology and download this file. Okay, you can, what you have to do is to type in the words which I highlighted in yellow, and also you can type your writing on the second page. And then when you finish, just send me back. You can send it via WeChat or via WhatsApp, or you can upload it on Schoology. And about the word limits, so originally I wrote 380. I think you can write more than that. So in the video that I sent you previously, I told you to write about 480 words. But if you think that's too much, at least you should write 400 to 450. Okay, so that would be the requirement for DSE. So try to write more because you have time to prepare. And if you have any questions, just ask me. Okay, so good luck.